Yes, we are called Mr. Big, and when the four of us got together, we knew we had to find a band name. So Pat here actually wrote down a bunch of ideas on a piece of paper, and one of them was Mr. Big. And when you read it off, I remember saying, "That's it!" And but of course you had to get the idea from somewhere.
Yes, I got it from a song by Free, the old Paul Rogers band before Bad Company. You know, he had a band called Free, and they had a song, big hit, All Right Now. It was a big hit for them. And one of the obscure songs on there was Mr. Big. And so I was looking through their lyrics for ideas, and that was one of them that I found. You know, we had a bunch of crazy ideas, but that one looked good on a T-shirt, and it was easy to spell, and it sort of translated internationally. You know, everybody could say Mr. Big, and so it sounded good, and that's it. That's how.
And Billy said that was the first, that Mr. Big, the song, was the first song that he ever played a bass solo in. And actually, we recorded a cover of the song Mr. Big on our record Bump Ahead, which we hoped would answer to the whole world why we were called Mr. Big. Of the reunion, I think, was when Billy and I played together in a Who tribute band. You know the band, The Who? We did a tribute to The Who. And Billy played bass, of course. I played guitar. And it was the first time that Billy and I had played together in a really long time. We really enjoyed it, not just the music, but we enjoyed hanging out, talking about the old days. After that, I played a solo on Billy's solo album, and that was great. And then after that, I had my solo band played a show in Los Angeles at the House of Blues, and the opener was Richie Kotzen. And I thought, I'm going to invite Richie up, and Richie can play with me in the encore. And I found out that the drummer playing Richie's band was none other than the Big Fat Torpy. So I thought, well, let's get Pat to come up too. And I knew that Billy was coming to the show, so I thought, well, let's get Billy up. And suddenly we had almost all of Mr. Big on stage, and the audience was freaking out, and the band sounded great, and I was getting all these warm feelings from them being with my old friends again. And we thought, we just had Eric here, wouldn't it be amazing? So after that, we called up Eric. Everybody got together. We came to my house. I cooked a big dinner for everybody, and we talked about it and said, let's do it. I'm sorry, I've been talking.
I can't really add much to that. Well, I think the reason that we didn't say we got to make 3 shows in Spain. It doesn't work like that. It's kind of this tour was kind of a reintroduction to Europe for Mr. Big. We hadn't been here in quite a long time, so the business wheels turn, and next thing you know, we're doing a tour of Europe. But there's plenty of places that we haven't played that we would like to play, and we just are glad that we're playing three shows in Spain. I mean, that's great. We had some UK fans that wanted us to play more shows there, which we weren't able to do this time, but hopefully in the future we will be able to do. And as far as expecting anything special out of the Spanish fans, I remember playing here opening for Aerosmith, and the fans go nuts here. That's what I remember. They're really into rock and roll, so I expect them to live up to that at least. So we're really looking forward to it.
Well, it's really nice when funny things don't happen. Because funny things usually are like when the bus breaks down and you don't have any food and you're stranded in the middle of Norway. And it's really horrible then, but it's funny later.
So we went walking, and we kind of weren't sure where we were. Paul had an idea where we might go. So we finally get there. We're starving. We were walking. My feet hurt. And we go up, and it's kind of in the late afternoon, and we looked in, and it's kind of dark, and there's nobody there. And so we look up the door, and it was closed. No. We were so hungry, and I thought, we got to walk all the way back or get a cab or something. And there was a guy getting in his car right across the street, and he said, and he pointed over to this other door, and it was like, oh, the heavens opened up, and there was angels.
There was a bush hiding the door.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. He accidentally chopped up his leg, and there was blood.
And he kicked over the table, and
yeah, we're actually a fairly professional band. We just want to show up on time and do the music. So, our funniest stories are like, pulling on the wrong door at the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
when we got back together, I mean, in the old days, when, you know, the original 8 years of Mr. Big, we were really passionate about establishing ourselves as a band. So we worked like crazy to the point of exhaustion. You know, I remember I got married, and the next day I was on the road. You know, there was no time for anything. So, you know, it was like that for 8 years, and when we reformed, we decided, you know what, let's still, you know, passionately, you know, be a great band, but let's be healthy. You know, if we need to take a break, let's take a break. If we need to do things at a little more human being of a pace, you know, let's do it so we're healthy and we're happy and we're having a good time. And so I think one of the parts of that is we can do one thing at a time. It's like, okay, let's do the Japan tour, see how that goes. Went great. Okay, let's do a European tour. You know, let's see how that goes. It's going great. So when we get home, you know, get your breath, get some sleep, and see what we're going to do next.
I would say just our motto is, you know, you have to learn how to play, but as soon as you can, start playing with other people in a band. Even if it's not a band, maybe a drummer playing with a bass player, or even just a guitar player and a drummer, or bass. You know, just start playing with people, because then you get a sense of what because music really is about the interaction between the musicians, and learn some songs. Just learn songs. I think there's focus sometimes on the techniques and physical aspect, and just, oh, I'm going to be the fastest guitar player in the world, you know, and it's like, well, yeah, but, you know, you've got to learn how to learn some Beatles songs and chords, and, you know, play grooves, and learn about, you know, don't learn about licks, learn about grooves and time and the things that make music. So that's kind of it might be kind of boring, but that really is, I think, the way to become a well-rounded musician that is able to make music with other people. Just go in a room for 8 hours a day for 2 years and work on one lick, you know. It's like, well, no, not really.
Yeah, I think that learning to play an instrument or learning to play music is a lot like learning a language. And when you're a little kid, you know, when you're 4 years old, you don't get a dictionary and start memorizing, okay, here's the letter A, aardvark, you know. You learn by listening to your parents, listening to people talk. It's a very natural process. And after you've learned to talk, just intuitively, you know, then maybe later you get a dictionary and you brush up on your grammar and you learn sort of the equivalent of music theory. And you learn to read and those sort of things. But you don't start with that. I mean, no infant starts by reading. They start by listening. And to me, training the ear has to be the main thing. Listen to a lot of music to play it sort of intuitively. You don't have to know what you're doing. That can come later. You know, I mean, you can. How old is your son now?
He's 7.
So I'm assuming he speaks English really, really well.
He can definitely communicate.
But he might not know what a dangling participle or a gerund is. Right. The fine points of grammar. But he can use them already.
Exactly.
Yeah, and music's the same way. You don't necessarily have to know all this complex theory or scales. You can just play. But it requires a lot of listening and a lot of playing. And the same thing with a kid has to practice, to talk a lot. Talk to his friends, talk to his parents. And that's one way to do it. You know, everybody speaks their home language, whether it be Spanish or English. It just happens. You know, it doesn't feel like practicing. It just feels like, you know, it's a very natural thing.